powerful Nerdcast assembles!
Stay dandy, baby. The Akudama and the Executioners continue to clash, the cats are kids, and the exposition continues to be delivered through a cartoon bunny and shark. Yes, it's more of the cyberpunk epic that is Akudama Drive. I am really loving this series so far. I think it might be one of my favorite shows of the season, and everyone manages to do a pretty good job of not only developing the characters, the lore of the world, but also just being plain awesome and fun to look at. It really takes advantage of the fact that it is an animated form, because every single episode just delivers some amazing backdrops, some great character designs, and some really solid action. And we got a lot of that from episodes 4 and 5, as well as some pretty big twists for the series. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Just a little bit of a warning, this is probably going to be a very short and condensed review, as I do not have a lot of time, but I really do want to talk about both of these episodes, as I am determined to review every single episode of the series. So episode 4 basically gave us all of the action that was absent from episode 3, with the Executioners, the Master and the Pupil, catching up with Swindler, the other Akudama, in the middle of the Shinkansen, the train, and a massive battle ensues, with Swindler and Hacker making their way forward as everybody else stays behind to actually battle, and things here are just intense. It's really the only way to describe it. As crazy as the actual Akudama are and incredibly unpredictable, the Executioners are not to be looked down upon. They are intensely resourceful and powerful, whether it's their weird lightsaber batons or just the fact that they can manage to match them in just about every way. I mean, you would think with a character like Brawler, whose entire purpose in life is basically just to fight and kick ass, that he would have an extreme advantage against these guys. No, the Master, who I am at this point considering probably my favorite character from the series, just because he exudes all sorts of awesomeness, manages to go toe-to-toe with him and even manages to greatly injure him, impaling him with his frickin' baton lightsaber. That's not even to say that pretty much every other character manages to get involved here, but even after that, Brawler still manages to keep going forward, and now he basically just has an obsession with wanting to actually take these guys down. But eventually this leads to a massive twist of the episode, which I think is the best thing about episode 4. After all of the intense action, we get to see that both Hacker and Swindler have made their way to the very end of this train in this mysterious vault, and right as they get there, they're starting to enter that zone which is completely contaminated, and they know if they go any further, they're basically going to be screwed. Luckily for them, they have found what they've been looking for, and suddenly that weird cat that's been sort of orchestrating all of these events suddenly just disappears into nothing, basically being Thanos to death, when suddenly we get to see that a vault opens up and it contains 2 small children who are seemingly being delivered to the Kanto region. Now, it just so happens that these kids are actually responsible for controlling this cat, in particular the little boy of the duo, who seems to have been orchestrating all of these events for some mysterious purpose, and that is to get them to return to Kansai, as it seems like there's some weird, creepy government sort of experimentation that's going on with desperately trying to get these kids to Kanto, and they manage to separate the train into 2 separate spots. The Executioners get sent behind and severely injured, with now all of the Akudama having to deal with these brand new kids and now getting a brand new mission. So that's episode 4. Episode 5 is a little slower in some senses, but it's starting to give us the next big portion of the story, as well as developing these brand new characters which have suddenly been introduced. It is worth noting that they actually do show them in the intro, so it's not the biggest surprise of who they actually are. I just didn't realize they were going to be the ones who were going to be associated with this cat in any sort of form or fashion. And I also have some personal theories about these 2 characters, about what they could possibly be. I don't believe them to be fully human, but basically it looks like they were being transported to Kanto, but they desperately want to return to Kansai to meet possibly the professor, which I believe is someone who actually created them. I don't think they're human. I think they're either cybernetic, they're cyborgs, or they're some sort of weird synthetic human, as they seem to have no desire to really eat or need sustenance or water to survive. That being said, they have extreme and crazy technology, such as these little lunch boxes, these bento boxes that literally, if you think about the food you want, it will pretty much just appear in there, with some certain exceptions. But it leads to a really great scene of watching all these characters interact with them. And really great, again, is highlighting the fact that while Swindler is indeed not a real Akudama, she is also very instrumental in saving these kids' lives, as the doctor decides to call them out, wondering Why should we even help these kids? What do they have anything to do with us? But being the motherly and caring person that she is, she actually does manage to stop some really bad stuff from going down. It's also worth mentioning that Hacker has officially left the group. Being that he is a hacker, he has figured out how to actually remove that bomb collar, and instead of helping out everybody else, he decides that he's actually going to go to Kanto. I hardly believe this is the end of seeing the character of Hacker. I guarantee that he is going to be returning at some point, probably to help out the characters. There's no way that they would get rid of a character that interesting with such distinctive qualities and abilities. He's going to return, mark my words. So basically most of this episode follows the characters as they take a little bit of a break before they decide to return to Kansai. But while all of this is going on, we also get to see that the executioners are dealing with the repercussions of their failure, with the master and the pupil basically going on extended leave. They have been suspended, but every other executioner in existence has been given the ultimate mission. They are now going to have to go after all of the Akudama with extreme prejudice. This has all been orchestrated by some weird, secretive, shadowy government, which is something like Nerve out of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it looks like they're not going to be able to escape all these guys. Basically, they're going to have to constantly be under the radar, as they're going to be attacked by every single possible assassin in sight. Think of John Wick. Everybody just wants a piece of him at this point. So what's the rundown on both of these episodes of Akudama Drive? I really loved both of these. Episode 4 was definitely high on the action. Episode 5 was high on the exposition and brand new character, and even managing to, you know, develop these characters just a little bit more, which I think was really great. You know, it wasn't just the fact that we have two brand new kid characters who are going to be a part of the main storyline here, but just seeing more of the interaction between Swindler and Courier, which I find remarkably interesting. The fact that she finally returned that money from the first episode, again, showing what kind of character that she really is. I still wonder if they really are going to try and trick us with her character, though. If she truly is a swindler and they're actually just trying to trick the audience here, maybe she isn't just an ordinary girl or a character. Again, they just don't seem to want to give her a name either. That just seems to be the whole part of the series, which is characters have titles, and that's the way that you refer to them as. But still, the fact that we have these two kid characters is really interesting, and it's definitely going to be tied to everything that's going on between these two distinctive groups of Kansai and Kanto. There's some sort of weird beings that were created to be sent to this almost godlike place, which is Kanto itself, but why they want to return to Kansai remains to be seen. Again, it's completely all in the background in the lore of this series, which manages to get built up in every episode, thanks to the hilarious PSAs, which are done by Bunny and Shark. At first, they were kind of annoying to me. Now I actually find them remarkably funny. Just the fact that they're so crappily done and they're giving out the most insane information about this world. And again, I think the best thing about Akudama Drive continues to not only be the character designs, but simply just the world that these characters inhabit. I mean, every single backdrop, whether it's the city or the underground sewer places that they're discovering, or even just that decrepit, contaminated zone of watching the characters hang out in this post-apocalyptic setting, everything just drips with amazing atmosphere, and all the characters manage to chew the scenery every single time. There's great moments throughout this episode from every character. I particularly liked Cutthroat as he was hanging out in a bathtub in the middle of an apocalyptic landscape, allowing the rain to fill it up as he took himself his very own personal psychopathic bath. He's a really funny character, but I think it's only a matter of time before he snaps. He claims to love Swindler. Frankly, I think he just wants to kill her. And the way that episode 5 ends is just awesome, and ensures that we're going to get to see a lot more action, because while the master and the pupil were suspended, the master is not going to stop. He's going to go on the hunt and try and take these guys down personally. We also get to see him without his mask for the first time, which initially when we see it, he just looks kind of like a normal guy, but eventually we see the other side of his face, and he has this big old gnarly glass cow smile scar that's going across his face, which frankly just looks gnarly. You guys know the rules. You have a scar on your face, that immediately makes you a badass. And production value-wise, the series continues to look pretty exceptional, whether it's the action scenes, the character designs, or just those amazing backdrops. Not to mention, I love the editing of this series. I've brought it up a couple of times in the previous episodes, but the snappy editing of this show is just top-notch. That combined with its cyberpunk-styled soundtrack makes every single episode just a joy to watch and to listen to. So, I liked both of these episodes quite a bit, with all the shocks, twists, surprises, cool action, and the just promise of more craziness for the future. They're not going to give us the answers outright, but I kind of like that. They're keeping it simple, and it looks like they're going to load up all that exposition toward the end in order to not overload the viewer, so to speak. But I liked both of these. A little slow on episode 5, but otherwise some pretty good material here. So I would say that episode 4 is a 5, episode 5 is a 4. That's my thoughts on the episode. Yours may differ, and you can tell me why in the comments section below. Make sure to tell me what you thought about the latest episodes of Akudama Drive and what you're hoping to see from the future of the series. Do you have any theories, any conflicts that you're hoping to see, action scenes, any possibilities of what you hope to see from the future of the series? Let's have a big discussion all about it. Comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Use your awesome cybernetic abilities to hit that like button. Helps out these videos tremendously. Ensures more people can see my content. I also want to thank all of my patrons. You guys are some pretty classy people. Not only are you making monthly donations to my channel, but you're continuing to watch them, leave comments and likes, and I cannot thank you enough for that. Remember, first-time donators, I'll review an anime series of your choice, as well as adding your name to this list of super awesome people, the producers of Ace Guru. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.